Right, welcome to the first episode of XSTV. I'm not sure if that's what it's going to be continued to be called, but that's what it's called today. My name's Chris Goltz, and today I am joined by Halliday from CHProductions and the Unit MMA in Doncaster. How you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I can't grumble too much. Strange times. It's probably the phrase that's said quite a lot these days, but yeah, I can't grumble too much. Everything okay there, sort of health-wise, and
Oh yeah, health is the best I've ever been. I've been
yeah,
non-stop working out. So yeah, I'm all good. Started a six week strength program. So hopefully by week 6, these guns will be massive.
no, nice one. So what week is that? Is this week the first week? Or?
Week 3, I think this is. My one of my coaches from Steel Evo, Sid, just set me up with a 6-week program working on arms, shoulders, back, legs, cardio, the whole lot. So yeah, I got a barbell and I said to him, "Have you got any workouts for me?" He went, "Right, we're going all in." So now I'm measuring my food. I'm making sure I'm eating fruit and veg and everything. So
Taking it seriously, then, yeah, taking it serious.
well, I've got to do something. I need to get back in shape. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess with the gym, with sort of being a coach at the gym, the unit, you, just with coaching all the students, the members, the fighters there, you're naturally going to get fit, and it's just like a workout, just the coaching. Even if you're not doing a specific thing yourself, just actually being involved there and coaching is probably quite an active thing.
Yeah. It's you always stay active because you're always holding pads and you're always exercising with people, making sure everyone else is doing it. But at the same time, especially the past few months before we closed, I was I was like, oh yeah, they can do all the work. I'll make sure I go and get a takeaway after. But yeah, no, I've not been in fight shape for ages. I've had a knackered shoulder for 8 years. But now I've started doing this strength program. It's actually feeling 10 times better. I can actually move it. I can actually lift weights and everything. So hopefully, when this is all done with and we're back to normal, I can get back into training properly as well as coaching. So
Oh, that's awesome.
should be good.
Is sort of a fight, your own fight, is that something that might be on the cards then? Or?
I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to, and all the people at the gym would like me to as well. It's just obviously finding the time to make sure you're in proper shape. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to step back into a ring or a cage and be at 90%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to fully commit to it, and I think this time is probably the best time to actually start it and start dropping a bit of weight and getting a bit fitter. So that's the plan. And I've got Nev here with me, making sure I'm actually not being lazy and doing my workouts. So,
Does she help you stick to your diet and things like that then?
well, I can't cook for shit, so Nev helps me out with that. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, it's
I
going
guess
good.
with sort of coaches that that have fought or continue to fight, it's a strange balance between you still got to coach your members and your students. You don't want to take away from your own coach, especially if you're training for a fight, and then you don't want to take away from your members as well, because they're the guys who are paying the fees, and they need to have that time from you to teach them as well, to prepare them.
Yeah, it's all about finding the right balance. And because I've not really been bothered about having a fight for the past few years, I've literally been like fully dedicated to putting all the time into them. I've obviously trained with them and hit pads and grappled with them and sparred and everything.
Yeah.
But because I'm obviously quite young as a coach, I can still spar with them and drills with them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all good, but obviously it's not 100% commitment to my own training, which is fine. I'm not really bothered. But yeah, I've definitely got a few ideas for some fights. So hopefully, I was going to say last year I said 2020 I'll have another fight, but I think 2020 is a write off now. So
Yeah,
we'll stick with 2021.
It's not. I guess it's not ideal preparation, is it? I know a lot of guys are continuing to train. You should see the backyard videos, and some of them have got sheds or outbuildings and things like that, which is great to see. I guess it's going to be those guys who are going to have to effectively hit the ground running when everybody's back. You know, they're going to be 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of everybody else who's just sat on the sofa and watch Netflix, I guess. You know.
Yeah, that's what we've said to our members. Is we've set up a private group on Facebook. You know, with workout videos and everything. But it's good to see everyone's originality, all the other fighters. You know, because pretty much everyone in the MMA community, the majority of us are friends, or we're friendly with each other at least. It's nice to see the originality of some people. You know, nobody wants to do Monday to Friday just doing press ups, sit ups, burpees, squats. You know what I mean? And like some of them are on their own and they haven't got anyone to grapple with or hit pads with. So it's good to see originality. I saw Chris Price in Manchester made his own grappling dummy out of a onesie and some pajamas. And like one of the videos for our students, we filmed 2 days ago, sticking a glove on a pole and using that to dodge and evade and move and stuff. So it's stuff that everyone can do, and I'm glad people are sticking to it. But I think everyone's going to be much happier when we can actually be inside a gym and train together. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of self-discipline with the sort of with training, especially if you're training on your own, solo. You can't run with anybody, or you've not been able to spar with anybody. There's nobody to hold pads, and you know, I guess it's just that self-discipline there that you need to be able to continue that. You know, for it to be effective, for it to be worthwhile doing. I mean, I'm not an expert in anything, obviously, on what you guys do, but I'm assuming doing it once a week it's maybe not. If you're going to do it, it's something you need to be doing sort of not necessarily on a daily basis, but certainly regular. Just you know, even if it's just to keep ticking over. You know?
Yeah, and you can tell the committed fighters are absolutely smashing everything. Like the 3 fighters that I sponsor, Rico, Levi, and Adam, they're absolutely smashing all their training. Like Levi's posting every single day that she's whatever her workouts are. Bramall's pushing every personal best that he's got. Yeah. He's trying to smash it. Rico's doing half Ironmans on 2 days' notice.
Yeah, I've sort of seen a lot of things on both Instagram and Facebook, and you know, sort of Rico's backyard videos. You know, like I said, the fundraising half Ironman, it was just insane. Considering
it's ridiculous.
Obviously, he's an active guy, but it's not something he'd been training for, is it? You know, it's just crackers. You know,
but Rico's also not a normal human being.
Well, no, I'm not going to sort of say freak of nature or anything like that, but it's certainly you've got to be a special sort of personality to sort of be able to sort of, you know, you have to be able to do things like that. But yeah, I mean, so Levi, I've seen her videos on there, so that the house training, the inside training, you know, she always seems quite busy, and obviously Adam as well. You know, he seems quite active with what he's doing, sort of on the bag, and sort of his own little weight room as well. I think his runs as well. Yeah, his little sort of checklist that he's got to be able to, you know, sort of track his progress, which is really good. You know, yeah, like I said, that those 3 really sort of stand out from what I see on my social media, what pops on my social media. So that's good. It's good that well, they're going to be the guys who are going to be first to sort of looking to get matched up, looking to get back in the gym, you know, they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready, aren't they? So it's,
oh yeah, 100%, especially fitness-wise. I know obviously no one's really sparring or drilling or anything, so all them aspects are going to be a little bit off. But I think some fighters are going to be fitter than they've ever been when it comes back to, you know, training and back to fighting, and hopefully everyone's back fighting sooner than later. But obviously, no one knows at the minute, do they? So we shall see.
That's one of them strange things. When I saw the other day on it was the boxing which was planned for, is it early July or sometime in July? Is it Eddie Hearn's house?
Oh, Eddie Hearn's backyard fighting or whatever it is. Yeah.
If gyms aren't open, I mean, obviously everybody's able to train, but they can't spar. So I mean, I'm not sure how ready they're gonna be. You know, it's for that. You know, especially if gyms don't even open up until, I guess, the earliest is going to be July. I would have thought.
It's a bit of an odd one. It's a bit of an odd one. Like there is still shows like still promoting for, you know, August, July, August time. Yeah. It's very optimistic. Don't get me wrong. And like I've got Megan matched on Cage Steel for August. You know, I'm fairly positive that it'll probably get postponed. But like training wise, she's obviously doing the same as what everyone else is, trying to stay as fit as possible. But yeah, it's a bit of it's just a weird one in it because no one's going to be fight ready at all, because you can hit pads and run as much as you want, but like until someone else is in front of you hitting you, it's completely different. Like right now, whenever I'm hitting pads in garden, you know, I feel like I'm pretty sharp. I feel like I'm doing pretty good, but I can know for a fact if I was sparring with someone, you know, timing's going to be off, movement's going to be off, everything's going to be a bit off. So yeah, I reckon September, October probably going to be looking for the time for the first show, but obviously no one wants to rush. As long as I get to see the best of the rest tournament on risk, that's all I'm bothered about.
Yeah, I am kind of looking forward to that. I mean, I'm not quite sure how much preparation those guys will be doing, but
yeah, I don't think they're doing half Ironmans.
No. But I mean, sort of regarding this matchroom boxing, I mean, obviously there's been some UFC events the last couple of weeks. There's been two or three now.
Yeah, three. Yeah, they did Saturday, Wednesday, and then Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Ferguson Gaethje. Well, I just saw the main event. But obviously those guys have been training, sort of preparing for that. So I guess it's just the same for the boxing shows. You know, I guess it's the same principle, even though it might be different sort of sparring, different techniques that we use. The principle is going to be the same, isn't it? You know,
yeah, and I think there's also a lot of people that are going to be training behind doors. Obviously, you're not going to be putting it out in public if you're out sparring with someone. So I reckon there'll be a lot of people that are training behind closed doors, and that's fine if you are fit. For me, if you're fit and healthy, you know, and you trust the person that you're with, I don't see the issue. But obviously, you know, you want your gym open, you want your full training team and your full coaching staff if you want to be fully ready for a fight by the end of this year.
Yeah. So regards to gyms, obviously you run the unit in Unit MMA in Rossington in Doncaster. How do you see the gyms opening up? Is it just going to be open and it's just business as usual, or do you think it's going to be like a gradual thing that people can do?
I reckon it'll probably be a gradual thing. Yeah. Like we're allowed to do outside PTs now, which I'm hoping to start next week. I've got we're fixing the gym up and everything, so I've got a load of stuff to sort. Yeah. But I think there'll be steps to it. You know, I reckon they'll probably allow adults in first before kids. Although from everything that's been going on, it looks like kids are pretty immune. Maybe like smaller groups, you know, a distance between them, no sparring. You know, you might be able to do pad work and work around that kind of stuff, but I don't think there'll be any grappling, especially. And then us as a gym, obviously we're going to have to go through risk assessments and making sure people can socially distance, you know, inside the gym when they come in. Because you've been to our gym, it's quite narrow when you walk in. It's just a small corridor. So, you know, you'll have to have a system of people coming in and out. But I think as long as people, you know, actually like adhere to the guidelines, and you know, us as a gym, we've never not kept it clean. Like if you've got to keep your gym clean and, you know, bacteria free and your mats clean and all that kind of stuff. So I think as long as you're sticking to that and, you know, just being maybe a little bit stricter with things, hopefully it'll be sooner than later. But yeah, I reckon it'll be gradual. I don't think it'll just be right open and everyone come and train.
Yeah, because I saw something on it must have been Instagram the other day. There were a couple of guys. I'm not sure it was a European country, like I don't know if it was like Poland or Russia or you know, somewhere out that way. There were like guys, the guys sparring. It looked like it were outdoors. It looked like in a park or something. But they've got masks on. You know, like the like sort of just a. Not like surgical mask, but it's for the heavy breathing, obviously. So that the droplets. I guess that's how this virus travels. You know, in the droplets and sort of water.
Yeah.
Is that something that realistically is going to be effective in sort of relatively quick, because obviously you're quite close. You're not. It's sparring. You're not close up like jiu-jitsu or grappling. I'm guessing. So there's going to be certain things which might appear on the surface to be safer. If you like.
Yeah.
Another thing.
It's a bit of an odd one. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if it was a mandatory rule that everyone had to stick to, I'd happily wear a mask. If it meant I could be, holding pads for people and that. But and then like with sparring, like even if it is just stand up, there is them clinch situations where you are closer. But I don't think it'd be realistic to make everyone be wearing masks to train, because if you're then allowed to put a show on to fight, you're not going to be wearing a mask to have a fight.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, yeah, I think I reckon you're gonna have to check people's temperatures, all that kind of stuff. If we had the tests available, that'd be better. But obviously, you've got to be showing symptoms and whatever. And if you're not, then people's thoughts are, I ain't got it or whatever. So, but it's the same with a cold or a flu or anything. If you're not very well, you don't go to the gym. So. Like I've had to teach whilst having a flu, which is obviously not the best thing, but it also wasn't a pandemic having a flu, so at the time. So
yeah, it is a strange one, isn't it? Because the sort of the asymptomatic issue, which you might have it, but you might not know, or you just don't get any of the symptoms. You're effectively a carrier, if you like. You just might not have it.
Yeah,
it's a very sort of strange thing, isn't it? It's and obviously it's affected everything that around the sort of combat sports world. Not just the fights, not just the training, but the folks such as yourself with the video production, which has been sort of heavy, sort of based on sort of on the fighters and the shows. No shows, no fight, no video. What we do here is very similar. Nobody's training, nobody's fighting, nobody's sparring. So people tend not to want the things that they don't need. I would have thought that sales of punch bags have gone crazy, and things like that. But the other things, there's a lot of other things which are just people just don't need, so they're not going to buy it, which is understandable. I do fully get it. I think obviously the sooner the gyms can open, the better it is for both yours and my business.
Yeah. Well, me and you together, we know a lot of people that are, because of all this, they've lost a load of money, they've lost a load of work.
Yeah.
We literally cannot do anything. Like I've been the two birds with one stone, because obviously I can't run my gym, and I've got no fight shows to film, so it's it's a bit of a weird one. Obviously I feel absolutely awful for anyone that's had no help. Obviously our friend Jamie from DM4 Photography, not really, he's been screwed over really, and he's an hardworking guy, so obviously you've got, it's not fallen well on everyone, and I feel very sorry for a lot of gym owners as well. Like obviously Danny, ABT's had no help, and he's doing everything he can to keep his gym afloat.
There's a lot of gyms which that is the person's income, that is their job. But there's a lot of gyms which are run next to, somebody might have a regular day job, if you like, a regular 9 to 5, but then they'll have a gym as well, but it might not necessarily be the sole source of income. I'm not saying it's okay for them guys, because it's not things still need paying for. But it's obviously the guys who rely on it to pay the bills. It's going to be hard for a lot of people, and some people will. I mean, I guess it's like a lot of a lot of businesses. Some people might sort of benefit from some of the government help, and then some people not necessarily get screwed over, but they kind of fall between the cracks of all the help which has been out, and it's very hard to actually accept that if you're one of those guys. It's a lot of people getting help, and a lot of people, and some people will probably end up doing okay out of it, but then there's other people who are just going to get effectively shafted.
Yeah.
They could lose the business. You know, it's not just the gym for a Saturday and a Sunday. It's open all day every day. Yeah, it's a lot of those guys.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been very adaptive to it, like changing the way they're putting stuff out, or making new products because of it. Like for me, with CHProductions, all I've done really in this time is start to plan together for when I can start doing stuff. So my plan for me is to start doing like corporate videos, set up a different page away from all the fighting stuff.
Yeah.
So videos for businesses and like the sponsors from the gym, I can offer them deals on, promoting their businesses and stuff like that. And then putting out all the old fights that I've been uploading on the channel. Stuff like that. It keeps people interested, and like to be like in this time, like my social media pages for the gym and for CHProductions, like the people that have seen it has gone majorly up because obviously all this time and everything. So, but then on the other side of that, I've not got anything new to put out other than fight highlights and stuff like that. But in terms of high quality, filming fight shows and collecting footage myself, there's been there's not been anything there. So I've kind of had to adapt. But I think when everything's back to normal, it should, fingers crossed, be booming. So
you think it'll sort of get back relatively quick, even though some of the things you might be able to, some of the classes might have to sort of change, like you were saying earlier. But you think people will be like, I'm going to gym, I'm allowed to go to gym, I'm going to gym. People, some people, I guess there's always going to be some people who be like, well, I'm going to leave it a bit, kind of, they're a bit apprehensive. But like anything, but just from what I see with the people on my social media, you sort of see people talking. It seems like a lot of people, that as soon as the gym's open, they'll be back. And I think the guys such as yourself, it's gonna almost just carry on as it left off. It's
yeah, and like for us, it's been since like last year was probably our busiest year we've had.
Yeah,
and we've been open for like 7 years. So for us, I think it is going to go back to normal. It should be fine. I've had a million different parents from the gym messaging like, when can you reopen? I'm sick of seeing my kids like come back to let me take them to training for an hour. But I think because especially with the kids on the kids side of things, they're so used to having a routine. With school, they finish school, have the dinner, come to training, finish training, come home, have the tea, go to bed. Like and it's been the same for me. I like schedule and I like timing. So the first week or two for me was an absolute nightmare because I had all this time. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't like having the time, if that makes sense. Because like before it, just the week before, it was get up, get breakfast, do whatever I need to do. I need to go to the gym at 2 and I'm there till 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? So it's it's been a bit weird. But I think when everyone can reopen, I think all the gyms, fingers crossed, should be booming. And I hope the ones that aren't getting any help and are struggling, I hope everyone runs to them to help them pick back up. So
yeah. I know a lot of gyms have sort of run by the fees. It's like monthly fees, or I know a lot of places have managed to sort of keep the members. They've still been paying the fees, which has been great for those businesses. And I know not everybody's in that position to be able to afford to pay for it, especially if their income's been cut as well. A lot of people have got no money coming in. Like that we touched on before. So it is understandable that some people can't pay the fees, but if they are able to still pay the gym fees, so the gym stays open. That's brilliant. I hope that might be the things which keeps a lot of places open.
Well, all these gyms, if you've got a good team feel, your team's going to help you out, and it's been like it with us. We didn't have a lot of monthly paying people anyway, which was fine. We had a lot of people paying per class, but like the support that people have shown us since it's happened. Like I've had all the new kit designed and stuff, and I put my first order in yesterday, which was 60 t-shirts.
That's awesome.
Which it's a lot. So yeah, I think as long as you've got your team, and a lot of gyms do have that family team feel, which is, I think, for me personally, I think that's the best thing you can have for a gym. You don't want anyone being standoffish or anything.
Yeah.
But yes, I think most gyms, when we can reopen, should be fine, and anyone that isn't and needs help, all they ever need to do in this martial arts community is ask, because if anything out of this, it's shown that everyone is kind of working together and has the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know it's. I mean, I know we spoke about it in the past before about the members with sort of different gyms with different training things. And I know you guys have a relationship with a couple of other gyms as well. There's one in Steel Evolution, is it in Sheffield?
Yeah, so there's Steel Evolution in Stocksbridge, ran by Rich Taylor and Sid Joe Kane, and Oscar Owensworth obviously fights out of there as well. He's one of my students. I've known Rich and Sid for years. We'd never trained together, but I've known them from obviously fight shows and stuff. And we went to their gym in 2018, and just since then it's just been beneficial, really. You get to train with different people. It means when I go there, I can just train. I don't have to worry about coaching. And they're good friends as well. And we as a team, we've made good friends with them all. And then through that, we've gone through to Body Tough in Barnsley, which is run by Dave Wright. And again, formed friendships, formed a team. So the three gyms together, we'd like to train together more. Obviously, we're traveling and everything. It's a little bit, trying to get everyone to one place at one time is a bit hard. But like on the last Almighty show, I don't even know how many fights I cornered, but I was non-stop. My gym, Steel Evo, Body Tough. It was absolutely non-stop, and it's kind of what you need, because if you've got a coach that thinks they can teach you everything, then that coach is wrong, because they can't. Like even like one of the best gyms in the UK, AVT, ran by Danny Mitchell, he even admits it. I can't teach you everything. I can teach you a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I can teach you what I know about a bit of everything, but I'm not the best at everything.
Yeah.
Like Danny Mitchell is probably, he's a smart MMA coach. He's a good head coach. But like he even admits, and I'd admit, I can't teach everyone everything. So, go to this guy, he'll teach you this. Go to this guy, he'll teach you this. So it's something you need, and anyone that's not, it's a bit like a cult. So
yeah, I see. I see that. I mean, I don't train, I don't fight, but even I see. It to me, it's common sense that if your place, you can't teach somebody a certain skill, or even to a certain level. You might be able to teach them a little bit, but to get to the next level, you have to go and see somebody else. Now, if that person then goes to that gym or to that person or whatever, and then they learn that they're going to bring that back to the gym, and then everybody's going to benefit from it. I mean, that's not just martial arts. That's probably with anything. You pick up skills from there and there, and it makes you better. Then you're training with you or working whatever it is that you're doing with your teammates, and it makes everybody better.
And it's the same with my video stuff. Oh, sorry, Chris. Carry on.
It's just as like an outsider looking in. That to me, it's for anybody who said, "Oh, you can't. You're training here. You can't train. You train there. You can't train here." It just seems crazy to me.
I'm not about that life. I don't like it. I don't understand. I just don't understand the process of the thought, because like if you can't teach me, why would you detriment your fighter and have them not know it? Like I don't know a lot about leg locks, so I wouldn't preach to be able to teach all these leg locks. I know some leg locks and I know how to do them, but there's like a million little intricate details that you need to know about certain things. So if guy A knows how to do that, go to guy A, come back, and then everyone will know it. So but it's the same with my video stuff. Like everything I've done, 90% of it, I've taught myself how to do it. So then the stuff that I don't know, I've made good friends with Josh Gudgeon. So anything I need, message Josh, he helps me out. Anything he needs, message me, help him out. Like I can edit a fight video, and help someone with a fighting video very easily. But there's other stuff, the little intricate details that I don't know about. Message Josh, he helps me. It's just how it works. So yeah,
that's awesome, because you guys, it's not the same thing that you do, is it? But it's there's certain things which overlap. It's and it's great that you're probably able to sort of bounce sort of little bits and bobs off each other. It's even just having like a positive, like other people who are sort of positive and wanting to work towards being better. I think it kind of inspires you to do better, even if it's something completely different from what you do. You see somebody sort of pushing themselves, and it's just going to be, it's almost like puts a, sets a fire underneath you, and then you want to try and better what you're, not necessarily with the product, but how it's sort of perceived, and sort of grow your business. Not necessarily the skills that you've got, but the other thing that surrounds you, as well. And I think there's a lot to be said for, like sort of surrounding yourself with sort of like positive people, getting rid of all the sort of the negative people, or things in your life, should I say?
Yeah.
And there is a lot of truth to that. I sort of speak to guys, and these people I've never met in person. I spoke to them online, and you sort of see them doing things, and it's some of these guys are sort of really they're like next level in what they do, and it kind of inspires me to sort of try and push what I'm doing. And like, it might not necessarily be the same profession that you're in, the same industry, but you see them pushing themselves, and you want to then do yourself.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're learning and you're bettering, then I don't see the issue with working with other people. I love it. Absolutely love working with other people.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Sort of in regards to the video production, then, how did you actually? I know this is something that you did at university. Was it media that you did at uni? Or?
Well, I did broadcast journalism. Yeah. So some of the aspects that I learnt from that do help. But I started it basically because I'm from a fighting family. My mum, my dad, my brothers, sisters, everyone's been fighting since we were kids. So I
bet there were some epic fights when you were all young. You're all quite relatively quite close age-wise, aren't you? As well, I bet there's some real tear-ups in there.
I mean, you'd have thought we'd have fought more, to be honest. But yeah, we knew who not to mess with, and that was always Sam and Megan. So yeah, but like, because I came from a fighting family, and all we've ever been interested in is MMA, kickboxing, taekwondo, martial arts as a whole. So I've always been interested in every aspect of it, including promotion. And I started, obviously I learned how to video edit when I started uni, and then I started by making a highlight reel for Sam. That was the first video I ever made, and it obviously got some good reception. I enjoyed doing it, so I thought, right, I may as well carry it on. And then I made a video for the gym, which hands down to this day, it's not the best video, but it's my favourite video.
Yeah.
Just because at the time, obviously, how much it meant to me, and learning how to do it myself, which was obviously a big thing. And then my first paid job was with Almighty, so I had to then set up. I didn't want it to just be on my personal page all the time, so I thought I'll make something. So I spoke to Jamie Lee Smith from DM4 Photography. He made this logo for me, and then we went from there. I did my first paid job for Almighty, which was Almighty Fighting Championships 3.
Was that was that a promo thing then? Was it that Almighty?
Yeah, just a highlight video, just from the previous 2 shows. I think it was Almighty 3. It might have been Almighty 4. I'm not too sure. But then literally just since then, it's been absolutely non-stop. I got my first camera for my 22nd birthday, and then 4 days later, after literally I didn't know how to use the camera at all, I'd never used one. I've never used like a DSLR. Went to Celtic Gladiator in Manchester, which Carl Prince ran, and that was my first actual video that I'd filmed everything and put together. And it turned out amazing. In my eyes, I thought it was amazing. And then, yeah, it's just been busy since. I've filmed Neil Wayne's boxing shows, filmed at Cage Steel numerous times. Obviously, it then turned into commentating as well for Almighty. So it's kind of all come under one umbrella, really, and it's good to know, like for me, because especially there's a lot of people that try to start things on their own by teaching themselves, and then they get to a point where they then like doubt themselves.
Yeah.
Like I know for a fact, like this isn't the biggest thing in the world, and I know it never will be. But for me, it's made me money, it's got me out there, it's made me relationships. I've now got a constant job with Almighty. Whenever they run shows in some form of I'm always doing something for them. Cage Steel's always there. Obviously, me and you work together on things as well. So yeah, it's just been good for me to know that I can just teach myself something and then use it as a job. Like it paid for me to go to New York last year for UFC. Yeah, it's been great. I love it.
No, that's brilliant. I'm sort of all for. There's lots of things said about self-made, but it genuinely is. You sort of put yourself out there, and obviously the work speaks for itself. All the work that you do for these shows. There's some big shows. It's some well-produced shows. Obviously,
yeah, and then obviously, like I've used the relationships from fighting to be able to push into the fighting industry as a production company. So like I've ended up, because I'm friends with Jamie Lee Smith, I've ended up at 3 different BAMA shows with him.
Yeah.
Back when BAMA was running, and they were some of the biggest shows in the UK. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been very fun.
Now, speaking of UK shows, we noticed recently that you've been uploading a lot of the old StrikeForce. We got that right?
StormForce, yeah.
StormForce, sorry.
StormForce,
the old StormForce videos up to your to the CHProductions YouTube channel. Now, is that correct? Was that your dad's show? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was my dad and Neil White, who runs DMAC in town. It was their show. It just started at Parklands on Wheatley Hall Road, the little pub. And they had 8 shows, technically 9, because they did one on a Saturday and then one on a Sunday on one weekend, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended up being an absolute gem for Yorkshire-based MMA. There's been a lot of fighters that have gone on to do big things from it. We ended up having the first female fight in Doncaster, but it might have even been the first female fight in Yorkshire with my mum, which was pretty cool. Yeah, and I've literally since the shows ended in 2008, it was our show, and we had maybe 3 DVDs. Back when people actually did DVDs. So I felt like Thanos trying to collect all the Infinity Stones to get all the DVDs again. And thanks to some of my friends that I know, Danny Mitchell, the Williams brothers up in Lancashire, and Andy Crittenden, my first ever coach, who I will return his DVDs to him very soon when I can. But now I've got them all on my computer. I think all in all, there's probably about 150 fights. And I've uploaded maybe 40, maybe 55. So I've got plenty more to go. I need to carry on uploading. I've been a bit slack recently, but it's fun to watch, like the evolution of MMA since it wasn't that long ago. The first show was 14 years ago, which isn't relatively that long ago. So it's seeing the evolution of MMA is mad, and seeing some of the fighters that are on there, like Lee Chadwick, who ended up being the Cage Warriors middleweight champion.
Yeah, I was
started on there.
Flicking through earlier at some of the videos, and you see, I mean, like I said, I'm no MMA historian, anything like that, but I recognise some of the names in these fights, and this was just a quick, flick through the first few videos. And yeah, some of these guys obviously, still fighting. I would imagine some people sort of left the scene. Some people are still in there, but it's I guess it is like the history of UK MMA, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great, and because it was such a small for us, it was such a small thing at the time.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. You wouldn't have thought that it would have had an effect on how things have gone. But if you look at like we've just said, look at the fighters that have been there and the journeys that they've been on. It's just for me, it's nostalgic because I was a kid when it was all going on and I can remember it all.
Yeah.
But like for the evolution of UK MMA, like being able to go back and watch, it's just good to see where it's gone and what's happened since, and the fact that some of the people on there, they had their first chance given to them by my dad and by Neil, and then they've gone on to massive things. It's yeah, I love watching the fights. I love, obviously everyone loves a good knockout. And back then there was a lot of knockouts. Yeah, it really enjoyable to watch, and I think it gives a bit of credit to Neil and to my dad for what they did back in the day, because obviously back then there weren't social media, there weren't Facebook or anything. The only thing there was the Cage Warriors forum, which everyone used to chat shit in, and that was it. So yeah, it's good that they get the recognition for it as well.
Yeah, like the sport is certainly probably a little bit, it's probably a taboo thing, even maybe 15 years ago. Now it's just it's in the public eye. Everybody knows the sort of the big guys, the big names. But I guess sort of 15 years ago, when these shows ran, it was still kind of not necessarily looked down upon, but some people might have been a bit wary of what was going on, what was happening. It's brutal. It keeps cage fighting. It's this. I mean, I would have thought some of the fights would have been in like boxing rings.
Yeah, and it wasn't fully accepted then either, because people didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
So, and obviously now everyone does. So.
Yeah, fair play for sort of pulling it off back then. I'm not saying for a minute it's easy to sort of to run a show now. I mean, what goes off with these shows now, which we've been part of.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was even harder to sort of pull it off back then.
Yeah, it was definitely harder, but it's weird the way things have changed, because especially in regards to paying fighters and how much people are paying for tickets for shows. Like some shows now, you see them put out the ticket prices and it's just absurd. It is absolutely absurd. It's weird to see how much people are trying to charge for it, which, obviously you've got to factor in all their costs and whatever. But like back then, you'd pay 30 quid for a ticket and you got a meal at your table, a hot meal at your table, you get waitress service. And then now, like some shows, like obviously I'm not going to name which, but like some, you just look at the ticket price and you're like, how's that happening? And then you look at the flip side of how the ticket sales are then, paying the amateur fighters, and they're getting next to nothing. It's a bit confusing. Obviously, I know times have changed, and money, everything's a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I think as a fan and as a fighter, you need to be able to, one, afford to be able to go to the show, and two, as a fighter, to be able to make some money from it. Because if you're offering a fighter a platform to fight on, you've got to then offer them, a reason to want to fight on your show. And if money's that reason, you've got to give them that reason. So
I know that is a problem, isn't it, for some guys, especially if they're wanting to try and train full time. You've still got, even if you're living at home with your parents, you've still got to chip in for the rent or for the board, basically. You still got things to pay for. You've got you might have 3 or 4 gym memberships to pay for, and PTs and things like that. Your diet, and it's not a cheap gig, is it? It's not. Even sort of amateur sort of combat sports. It's not like Sunday morning football. There's very little cost to it. And I know it's probably difficult to compare because they are two completely different things. But but for the same level, to be able to for boxer or MMA or K1 or whatever it is, there's probably a lot more personal expense in training preparing for a match or a fight than team sports, if you like. You know, it's and I know a lot of guys do sort of rely on sponsors, especially if not sort of professionals and full time. You know, it's if these guys didn't have these sponsors, then they just wouldn't be able to do it, would they? You know, I mean, obviously with Sam, he was training relatively full time, I guess, right, at one point. So I guess you've seen
full time working and it's especially good, like with the amateurs, it's not amateur anymore. Like the levels that especially, you know, the top tiers of the amateurs, they're not training like amateurs anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're as good as what the pros are.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've just not taken that pro step yet. But so even as an amateur fighter, if as a promoter on a show and everything, you've got to compensate for the fact that they're training as hard as a pro fighter is. They're just not fighting in a pro rule set.
Yeah,
like with our Megan.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, our Megan, like she works full time.
Yeah.
She's working 40 hours a week or whatever it is, probably more, and then coming to training every single day, and then paying a mortgage and paying for all the training. Obviously, she trains for free with me, obviously, but then like, you know, she trains at DMAC, which she pays for. She's got travel. She's got like PTs and everything. It's an expensive gig.
The expenses are the same, I would imagine, or very similar for the amateur or professional. You know, a lot of the expenses. There's no difference. You know, everything still costs the same. So, and especially if you wanted to sort of
very little difference.
Yeah, especially if you wanted to sort of improve what you're doing, which I guess is that's the time to do it. The amateur level, that's where you kind of iron out what you do. You know, it can be an expensive gig, I can imagine. It's difficult.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully everyone can get back to making money through fighting soon, and then, we can all get back to it.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I think we'll probably be able to wrap it up there, mate. Obviously, this has been great for me. You know, just on a personal sort of mental thing as well. Massive thanks to you for giving up the time. I know we've all got a little bit more. A lot of us have got a little bit more than what we did, but you know, time is something you never get back. So I appreciate you spending some of yours with me.
Yeah, absolutely not a problem. You know, always happy to help, especially for Team XS Guard. So,
on that note, mate, your sponsors for the gym. You sort of mentioned that the gym's got sponsors. Do you want to give them a bit of a shout? And
give everyone a shout out. So the gym sponsors. We've got IPW, Jamie Walker's Garden Maintenance. Our newest sponsor, Feminine Tattoo, Feminine Tattoos. Coe's, Kyle Overton's Railway. I can't remember what it's called. Johnson's Jet Washing, XS Guard, obviously. DM4 Photography, Empire Pro Tape, CHProductions.
Awesome. So we'll make sure they're all tagged in. We'll try and get it released on social media at some point. But we'll make sure we tag everybody in, so people can kind of see who help. You know, the guys who help you out, and hopefully they might get a little bit of help. It's, again, mate. Thanks very much. Appreciate that, and I'm sure we'll be able to chat again soon.
Not a problem at all, Chris. Have a good day, mate.
Thanks a lot, pal.